Hello to you. I do this post-mortem because I learned something and I don't want to forget it, and I have a small memory. So what I'm trying to teach you and to teach me later is how impossible it is to store image. I mean, for someone who work in compression, it's so easy to know that, but for someone who is not in video compression and video feed, it's impressive. So what I'm talking about is here we have the Lynx, that is a virtual reality headset. And from the Lynx, I can have a screenshot of the Lynx. So I did a program that takes the 6 camera and do a screenshot and put it on PNG. And that's what we have here. So what you see here is the feed of the camera. So if you play this feed over this feed, you can have stereoscopic view where you see the depth of the camera. And what I want to do is to be able to record those images, to record them, to be able to do a video, to be able to do educational video where we can see through my eyes. So if I do something, I want to be able to record it and teach people how I did stuff from my eyes. The stuff here is that as you can see here, the image is it's a lot of resolution, and more the resolution is high, more the image is heavy. So for example, here on the PNG image, we have 3 mega octet because there is plenty of information. If there is so small information, you can go down to 1 megaoctet. But when you don't want compression, when you don't want to compress those data, you are at 16 megaoctet. And 16 is really high. So here I did a small stuff to give you an idea. So if I take the 2 feed camera, so that look like this. Where did I put that? Here we have something like this. So the image camera will look like this size and this ratio, and the stuff is that when you have both of them, it means that now you have this size just for one color. So this is the number of bytes. Byte is 8 bits, and a bit is 1 and 0. And so you have those numbers to be able to store. And it's kind of heavy, so it's like 30 bytes, something like that, when you have both of them. Total size of 2 color. Yeah. The stuff is that on the Wi-Fi, you have the ability, when your Wi-Fi is good, to send this number of megabytes. So megabyte is this plus 1, 2, 3. So this number of bytes is what you can send to the Wi-Fi. So you can quickly see that we have a problem. And when you send something on the Wi-Fi, you cannot just send a file. You have to send package in UDP or TCP. And when you send a package to UDP can only be this number of bytes maximum. So here, the small code I was doing here, it was just to say, okay, if I have those 2 images and the max payload, the number of bytes we can send is that, and the Wi-Fi bandwidth speed is that, okay, how many images per second I can send in full quality, no compression. So here is the image. So if I want to send one image with small package like this, I have to send 266 small package of data, then recover them and reconstruct the image on the other side. And this number of megabits per second is equal to that number of megabytes per second. So yeah, so something like that, 30. And so this now. So it means that to be able to push them to this speed, it means that one package, one of those packages, will take this number of milliseconds to be sent on the other side. And if, as I have those number of package, it will take 0.3 seconds to send both image of my Lynx to the Wi-Fi to another PC. So 0.3 seconds to be able to send all those heavy image in one of those two camera, but both of them to the other side. So it's around 4 image per second maximum that I can send to a Wi-Fi. Meaning that you cannot send a video stream from your camera to the PC, because if you don't want to compress the image, you will have to send too many images. I mean, you need for virtual reality, for your human eyes, when you look at a movie, you need 20 images per second. And here I'm at 3 images per second. And for good video, you need 30 images per second. And for virtual reality, it's better when you have 60 to 90 images per second. So I won't put 90 images per second on the Wi-Fi, as I can send 3 per second. So if you want to send an image on another PC, do some computation and send back, yeah, it's great. But if you want video stream, you need to compress those data by removing the redundancy in an image, because when you have an image like this, sometimes a lot of pixels are the same color, and so you remove that, and that's PNG, JPEG, and stuff like that. They're doing plenty of compression in all the sense to be able to remove some data that is not used and degrade the image. The problem is that when you do this PNG and JPEG, it takes a lot of time to do that. And when you are playing a video game and you want, or something, and you want to record those video, so compress them and send them, you don't want to take all the CPU and GPU of your computer because you are using it for your game. So you can't do that. And so what you need to do here is to find a solution. Lose quality and lose the less possible CPU and GPU to compress and send and store it or send it somewhere. When you want to stream, you need to send. When you want, like me, to reconstruct a video, you just need to store it. So I can store it on the hard drive of the device. Stuff that is that when you store on the hard drive, you take a lot of time, resource, and so I need to put them in the memory to be able to store them later. Because more I read, more I compress, more I store, more I send the image, more I lose some power for my game. So if you want to do some other stuff that just record the camera, it will be problematic. And the stuff is that's a bit the topic of these videos also, is that I did that here. So here what happened in this code is that I record the stream of the camera as a fake camera here that I construct. So it's a fake camera, but it's the same format of the Lynx. And what happened here is that when I press this button, you will see it will record the camera. And here you will see something fun is here. So this is the mega octet that I'm recording to be able to store those data. And so here it's 10 images per second. So if you record with 10 images per second, so if you record 10 images per second, here in like 10-12 seconds, I'm at 2 GB of RAM memory use. So it means that I have 2 GB of image in the memory of my computer here. And as you can see, it took me 20-30 seconds to store them as a texture. So now that it's done, here I have a folder, and here is the image. You see, those image are the image I record about the small device turning around like this, left and right. You can see that when it's compressed as a JPEG, it's very small, but it's because there is a lot of color that are the same. If it was the flow of the camera, it would be 2 or 3 megaoctet, something like that. If it was the stream of the camera, it would be much heavier. And what I was trying to do here is to put all this image in a file and try to use FFmpeg to be able to compress this image in a video. So I try to make a small code here that will take all those images and make a video on the PC. So I put the image there, I put the list of image, and I put a bat file that you can press and execute to be able to build the video. So that's what I'm trying to do for the moment and failing to do, because yeah, it worked, but not in the way I would like, because here I put one image every 10 frame per second. But if I want to record to 20 frame per second, like 0, so 1 divided by 20, it's every 5 milliseconds, 50 milliseconds. Okay. Every 50 milliseconds, it means that now, so you'll see it's kind of impressive. So for 2 gigabytes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have like 9 seconds of recording. So it means that if I want to record to 20 images per second, I have 8 seconds of record for 2 gigabytes of RAM. So basically 2 giga RAM, 2 giga RAM, it's like 4 CD, 7, yeah, like 4 CD of recording in 8 seconds. If you don't want to compress it, because if you compress it, you lose some time on the CPU. So you will not be able to do 60 frames per second because you lose too much time compressing. And I'm like, eh. So that's where I'm a bit lost for the moment, because I try to find a solution. And I give you another example. If now I do one image per 60 frame, it means those number or those timing. Up. I will press play. And now how many seconds it will take? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 seconds of recording for 2 gigabytes, but I'm pretty sure I did a mistake here, because usually it takes less time than that. Where did I did something wrong? I did not change it? I think I did not change it. Here. Press play. 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Okay, so for the moment, I have 4 seconds of recording. If I want to record full quality for 60 frames per second, the stuff is that on the Lynx, we have 8 gigabytes of RAM, but some will be used by the software, some will be used by Unity. So I suppose that we have like 5 gigabyte RAM of byte maximum. So for the moment, with my technique, if I want to record a video, I can record, we will see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, but it's bugging. It's why here I'm taking too much memory, and I have some bug in the program because there is too much to do, too much in the RAM, and it's making it bug. So it's a bit cheating here. But you see the point. More fast you go, more the data you take must be yeah. I have some problem. So what solution to use? I don't know, because if I compress the image, then I need to find a really good compression that works in Unity to take the less time possible, and I will maybe win a bit of time, but I will lose some quality. And if I don't compress, I have to do some video where I can only record 5 seconds by 5 seconds, and every 5 seconds I need to do a flush of 20-30 seconds. For example, here it's still flushing the, yeah, okay, now it's finished. So here, as you can see, I have recorded 5 GB of RAM. So if I go here, here, and my property, no, not this one, because this one failed because of my stuff. I know it's not failed, it's just that I compress as a texture. So what happened here is that I have 5 GB of raw data in the memory of Unity, and when it finished, I use Unity to compress in PNG. So instead of having here 16 megabytes, I have like less than 1, because this is a lot of the same color and the compression work well. So here, as you can see, it's 60 frames per second recording, but the stuff is that it's not really 60 frames per second, because my code is not perfect and it takes too much time, and so the recording is taking more time than 60, and so I have less than 60. But you have the idea here. You just take everything, you put in the memory, and when you finish to record the 5 seconds, at least when you finish to overload the memory you register, you take everything and you compress it outside in the disk, then you flush it, and like that, flush it or keep it for the next recording, and like that you can record a video of the both eye in full quality for later on. So this technique is what I was trying to do, but tomorrow I don't know if I have the will or the time to work on it, because I have other stuff, and that's why I'm doing this video, just to have a recording of what I were trying to do. So here is the computation of how I understood that I can only send 3 images per second here of the image of the Lynx. If you are wondering what code I'm using, this code is more complex and dirty, so I don't need to show it to you. Here, the only stuff I was trying to do is do some code that is a bit abstract to go fetch the color 32 of Unity. So what I mean by color 32 is that when you are in Unity, you have an image in front of you, and this image is stored as texture 2D. But the stuff is that some texture 2D are rendering or rendering texture or texture 2D. Texture 2D, it means I have a block of data, but rendering texture, it means it's in the memory, but you can access it if you ask to access it. So for example, here in the stuff, I have my rendering texture here, but to be able to have the full color array that I need to store as the data, I need to extract it from the RAM memory. And here, that's what I'm doing. So when I has to have the color, I say refresh it. And when I say refresh it here, I check that the source exists. If the buffer is not created yet, I create the buffer here. And you go in the texture of rendering of Unity, you put the target, that should be the Lynx target here, but for me it's a fake rendering texture. Then you read the pixel here in the buffer, and then you release the rendering texture active to say, okay, you can put something else. I finished to copy all those memory data. Then you apply in the buffer to say, okay, you can apply them to create really the texture 2D. I have read everything I need to read. And that's how I get the color, the 32 pixel color of the texture. So maybe there is a better way, maybe I don't need to apply, maybe there is other technique, I don't know, I have to try around, but that's the idea behind it. And so when you have that, that was the code I was trying to do here. It was just trying to compute how many time it takes to fetch those data, how many time it is to read and write on the file, and stuff like that. That's what you saw here. The creation of the file, the creation of the list, the creation of the image, stuff like that, but it's too complex for a short video, so I will stop here. But that was the idea here. So I hope you learned something. The point of this video is to say, if you want to do a recording, it's not easy. You need compression. And I saw that some people in the chat of the Discord show me that you can use the Android to be able to use some tool to do compression in the Android. So that's what Vohili do with the recording. So I will try to find you that for the video in case it can be useful to you. So if you go on GitHub and look at my repo, yeah, sorry, my internet connection is really slow today. I don't know why. If you look at my repo, I have a repo that is a fork of the Voili repo. Okay, I don't have internet. But this repo, he gave us use Android compression system to be able to compress the image of his game at 10 images per second. I don't know if it make the game RAM lag or stuff like that, but he succeeded to record his gameplay with that. So I should use that instead of what I'm doing here. But the stuff is that I'm just trying to see for the science of it, for the curiosity of it. And now we have the answer of how heavy it is to record 60 frames per second of the Lynx. And the answer is 4 to 6 gigabytes for 5 seconds. So a lot of data. And those data, after that, what I was planning to do is taking those data, put them in the memory, then as soon as you succeed to reach the limit, you take them, you put them on the hard drive, but not as a PNG or a texture, but as a color 32, like raw data on the disk. Then what I want to do is go on the PC, take those raw data, extract them, and then convert them to whatever I want. Like, do I want a PNG? Do I want a JPEG? Do I want a PNG with low compression, high compression? Do I want something else that is less compressed? Do I want TGA? I don't know. The idea here was just to take those data raw, put them on the hard drive, and later on create video where the quality is what you need to be. That was the idea, but in the practice, you can record only 5 seconds, and you could record more than 5 seconds if you drop the CPU, if you drop the game capacity of having a lot of frames per second. What I mean by that is that something else I could do is, instead of put them in the memory, is write them on the disk. But when I write on the disk, it means that the game will be slowed down by the thread of Unity. So instead of having 90 frames per second, I will have 50 frames per second, 40 frames per second. But as my plan is to record not the gameplay but the camera, and we want 50 frames per second, we could. So what I could do is, instead of storing all that in the memory and then do the file, it would be to store in all the time the image on the hard drive and just have a bad frame rate, and hoping that the frame rate will be not too bad. That would be another solution. So there is solution to my problematic here. I don't know which need the most time. So I could say, okay, for 1 month I work on the topic, but I have plenty of other stuff to try. I have teaching to do, I have some game to do, I have some trying to make the game run on Quest links and stuff like that to do. So that the point of this video is that I have UDP, Socket.io, compressed by Java, compressed by just writing down on the hard drive or using the memory as a buffer. So I have all the stuff to try, and all those stuff need 2, 3, 5, 4 days of testing around, and I don't have that for the moment. That's why I do this video. So if you have an answer to me saying you stupid, just you do that, put it in the comments. If you have some tip or trick around on some link you remember of something I could do, put it in the description. Anything that you think could help me on this topic, put it in the description, because it could be useful to me. So I hope you have a very nice day or night, I don't know. I will try tomorrow to do some last tests, I suppose, because I have a hackathon based on the image this weekend. I hope you learned something. May the code be with you. See you next time. Bye bye.